New Zealand by Barry Brailsford. Some of his books are downstairs. And Barry had gotten involved in what was called the Kaimanawa Wall. It was an area that had been a logging area in a forest on the North Island, had to cut a road through a hill. And what they found there were these cut stone blocks. They were rectangular. They seemed to be fitted together, like what you see in Tonga. But it was covered by an ash deposit that they knew was over 2,000 years old. So here's Barry Brailsford doing some of the studies here. You see what these blocks are fitted together. The New Zealand government got really uptight about this because they just couldn't have these megalithic ruins in New Zealand because supposedly the Maoris all got there in the big canoe, and that canoe had only arrived about 600, 800 AD. And here were these giant ruins in New Zealand that were clearly over 2,000 years old. So the New Zealand government just had to somehow disprove it. This had to be natural. Couldn't be man-made. So the New Zealand geologists came in. This is him. So they had to have a theory where this was just a natural formation. The blocks had crystallized into perfect rectangles. All right, and then, but of course, even they couldn't admit that it would have such a perfect face. So what their theory was that the block had to fall forward, and it had prismatically crystallized, but then the face fell off. So what you had was this, what looked like a man-made wall, but it wasn't a man-made wall. It was just natural. So to prove their theory, they had to dig a big trench right here in front of the wall because rubble from the wall falling over would have to be there. And here you go. Here's the wall. But no, they could not prove it. Although they didn't bring backhoes and things like that in. So yeah, this all. I was on the BBC and stuff at the time. But even today, I mean, the New Zealand government tries to hide this thing. They don't want people to know where it is, and they do not admit that there are some megalithic walls in New Zealand.